Lamar wasn't Lamar when he wasn't. He was the backup.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't even a starting quarterback at Louisville. And I forgot the guy's name. It was Kyle something from Louisville. And I never forget it. He either gets hurt, throws an interception, and the next thing you know, Mar come in. And he had when we're getting, I think we're losing or something like that. He comes in, he's doing well, but like you could tell he's making some throws where he's a freshman, he's trying to figure it out. Yeah, and you're like, all right, like, okay. And the next thing you know, he takes his spot his sophomore year. And I want to say it was that year he won the Heisman, like that. Like he doing shit, like he jumping over people, he doing I'm like, yo. Like we up, like games at 1 o'clock. He got the basketball team up at 6 a.m. tailgating with the students because we like this shit finna be a show.
You're a real tailgating nigga too, by the way.
I know.
I be seeing. Yeah, I be peeping.
I ain't done it.
Nigga rolling kegs down.
I ain't done that shit in 8 years. I was like, man, I got to do something. I got to. That was fun. I had a good time. Shout out to everybody in the Muni lot in Cleveland. That was a good time. But yeah, so then it's funny. We was having dunk contests my freshman year in the gym. Like me, Lamar, some of the guys on the team, Louisville's team and the football team. And he was out here windmilling, like throwing it off the wall, like crazy. But then I always say, he left school now, so it's irrelevant. But like my first year, we was at every class together. We was every class. Always in class. Next thing you know, every assignment for him was online. Just like that.
They knew what was up.
It's like they knew, like, all right, bet. Like, you know, I'm over here. We over here like, the fuck he at? So then you see him every Saturday doing this thing. I'm like, all right, like I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like every class was online after that.
They got the equipment manager picking up fucking the syllabus and shit. Like,
I ain't see Mar on campus a day after that. I was like, hey, do your thing. That's my dog too, but he was all saying that. We like our academic dude getting on us for not being in class. I'm like, man. And then he goes, man, you see what the fuck he doing? You do that every fucking night. Then you ain't got to go to class. So I'm like, all right, cool.
I get sacked to the backfield. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
truth. The fans see you at a lot of Mets games, not Yankees, Mets. Like, what's the correlation with the Mets? What is your correlation here in New York? Because a lot of people in New York is questioning that. Yo, why are you going to the Mets games and not the Yankees games? Like,
yeah, I'm my whole life. I grew up. My dad played for the Astros for about 6-7 years, I want to say, and then he got released. And then that next day, he got called from the Mets like that. So that he was a free agent, I would say, for one day. And then he retired, started working with the Mets organization. I don't remember when, probably a few years before I was born, or right when I was born around that time. And I grew up in the locker room. Like, I'm growing up, it's David Wright, it's Jose Reyes, you know.
They was even
before that,
every game.
Yeah, even before that, it was like when I was 8 to 9, it was those guys. Even before that, it was Mike Piazza, it was, you know, Ventura, it was, you know, all them guys. And so for me, like, that's all I knew growing up. I knew Shea Stadium. You know, I mean, I knew the minor league guys. So those guys I named, like the Jose's, the David Wrights, the guys that were groomed up. And like one guy I watched all the time was Jacob deGrom. That's all I seen as a kid. Like I watched them at the minor league level before they became who they were. And the next thing you know, they out here.
You up in Binghamton?
Yeah. Binghamton. We were
watching the Rumble Ponies. You know what I'm saying?
They were just the Binghamton Mets back then. They switched the name. So it was like Binghamton.
Yeah.
I've been to Binghamton, Norfolk, Virginia, Kingsport, Tennessee, Savannah, Georgia. Trying to think of where else I've been. I've been in Nicaragua. When they
like a stand-up comedy tour.
So you're a real baseball.
Real baseball. That was basketball. All this was, I tell people this all the time, this wasn't the plan.
That's a fact. Let me tell you something. Baseball is my first love, man. Like my first love. Like my first love. I'm like baseball. First baseman. That's what I played.
That's it. Like,
but it was like to your point, we could relate because basketball wasn't, I liked it.
Right.
I didn't love it.
But you was nice though in high school though.
Even though I'm talking about even before that. I'm talking about 8, 9.
Yeah.
Like I'm baseball. It wasn't. I played basketball, but it was more baseball.
But you know what's crazy? Like y'all saying that coaching kids that age, like coaching a 9U team that I coach, getting kids to lock in baseball at that age is hard as fuck, bro. Because it's like, you know what I mean? It's like you got to really be disciplined, and really love that shit. Cause
we played in a little school league, you know what I mean? Little bad kids and shit. Like, making all the little project schools and all that. So the baseball games used to be a lot different. Facts.
So how did basketball happen then? Because it sounds like your path is to Donovan Mitchell, second baseman.
That's
you know what I mean?
exactly what it
Like,
was.
because growing up in baseball, your pops being a former pro, working in the front office, that seems like here's the path.
Yeah,
to the
it
majors.
was the blueprint all the way up until my sophomore year of high school. To the point where I'm like, spring break, all my friends going on vacation, I'm going to spring training. Like I'm Oliver Perez, Pedro Martinez, those guys are throwing batting practice. And I'm sitting there just watching, getting ready for my season until my sophomore year of high school. I broke my wrist. And one day I was just like, I want to just play basketball, see what that looks like. You know what I mean? I didn't really have that many offers. I probably had Providence and Iowa at the time. And then after that, it was just like, took off. So next thing I had 26 offers within that next year, but it was all baseball, man, like nonstop. Like basketball was, like I said, you was nice in high school. I was trash. Like I was like, man, basketball's cool. I played at Riverside growing up, Riverside Church. Yeah. So I'm like, for me, I'm running around. My mom's running me around, doing all these different things, So I'm just like, man.
Staying on that topic, like going back to basketball a little bit. In high school, you wasn't like that. People probably didn't believe in you. You probably didn't believe in yourself. Like you had this period of saying, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go for it."
Yeah.
What was the switch? And I'm asking this for a very specific reason. But what was the switch? And when was the switch? When you was in high school?
That sophomore year. That was when I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna play basketball." And once I got from 2 offers to 26, I'll never forget, the University of Florida offered me a scholarship. I was in Connecticut at the time, walking into the apartment that we lived in, and that coach, Rashawn Burno, I think he's at NIU now, he's the head coach.
Yeah.
He told me, he said, when you get this offer, your life, like your college-like experience is going to change. You're going to get all these schools calling. And when they offered me, it was in like a week. It was like school after school after school. And then on top of that, we had like Boeheim in the gym. Because you remember Chris McCullough?
Absolutely.
He was on my team. So he was there. So we had Boeheim in the gym. We had Tony Bennett, we had Roy Williams, we had Calhoun. So that's who all came to see me. And even though I wasn't like to go into their school, like they just would word of mouth, that shit goes. So like watching, and next thing you know, I'm like, man, like, all right, like I like it. Like, and I wasn't, in my eyes, I wasn't good. Like I still couldn't shoot. I couldn't really do anything offensively, but I could guard, I could jump. Those are the 2 things I got. So next thing you know, Louisville's watching me. And I had one summer where it just like took off, and like I started to round myself out as a basketball player, and that's when I was like, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do.